Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and that means another episode of Theater and Tech Trends live, not pre-recorded, not dead, but live in living color. And joining me tonight is my illustrious co-host, Digital Don AV. How you doing, Don?
I'm doing better, man. Actually, yeah.
Man, I mean, look at those arms doing their things. You're looking good. You're looking healthy.
Can't take a drink. Can't quite get there yet, but I'm closer, and I got this arm moving a little bit, so it looks like it's going to heal up. It's just a matter of how long. So
yeah, I mean, it feels like you are past like the nightmare stage. I mean, it's still not cool, right? But
oh no, I mean, you learn to adapt. Like if you need to get something from a cabinet, you got to like throw your hand up and your hand catches, and like Thing from the Addams Family, you kind of walk and stuff. So yeah, my girlfriend doesn't have to come home from lunch now to feed me.
Yeah,
well, I still can't bathe or get dressed. So
right on.
But eventually,
I feel like it. I mean, even just from last week, that left hand seems just much. Dude, I'm so happy. That's great.
Thank you. Everybody's been amazing. A lot of physical therapy. So it's amazing how tired you can get from doing very simple little things. You know,
I believe it.
Normally you would do 100 times without issue. But no, I'm thrilled. Glad to be here.
Cool. Well, I'm also thrilled tonight because we have a show that's living right in my special place. Right. We have two brands and two guests tonight that are really awesome. So we're gonna have John from Mantle Mount, and you guys know I love a good television, right? Well, a good television deserves a good mount, and there's really nothing cooler than a mantle mount, right? Particularly if you need to mount your television above a mantle or a fireplace, right? So we'll talk about those things and learn all about them, and that'll be the first half of the show. And then on the second half of the show, we have Matt from Storm Audio, and as you know, Storm Audio is one of the preeminent processors on the market right now. They make a outstanding product, and I like to think that I have what might be one of the most souped up Gen 1 versions that exist on the planet, right? We'll talk with Matt about that, but I got mine's a bad boy. It's like a classic car. It's like a 69 Mustang with a blower on it or something. I don't know. If you could say that about a video processor.
Yeah, nerd alert.
Yeah, nerd alert. And so, first tonight we're gonna have John join us. John join us on screen, and real quick, Van Gool, welcome to the show. A2, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
And remember, everybody out there that's watching, take a moment, say hi in the comments. There are a lot of you out there, but some of you guys never talk. And also take a moment to subscribe to my channel as well as Digital Don AV. It's important that you go and support him as well on his channel. And Don, don't forget to hit the go button so you can stream to your channel as well.
Yeah.
Right on. And C-Big's here. All right. Now, with no further ado, John, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Mantle Mount, I've had you guys on the show a couple of times over the years, and I see you at the trade shows every year, and the product is just outstanding, right? And it gets cooler and cooler as you guys make new revisions and that kind of thing year over year. But I think to start, there are going to be some folks out there that are not familiar with the brand or with you in particular. So maybe let everyone know who you are, what you do, and why they should care.
Okay, John Johnson. I run wholesale distribution for Mantle Mount. That is the dealer portion of the business. We have two businesses: consumer, direct to consumer on a website, and that's mantlemount.com. And then we have our dealer website and product line, mantlemountpro.com. Okay. And I've been in this business for going on 40 years now. So I've been around the block on both sides of the aisle or of the desk. I've been a consumer first and foremost, and then took my turn behind the desk, and then I joined the manufacturer side some years ago with a couple of different companies. So people should just care.
Just
They do.
care.
I
Everybody
care.
just care. I love
So,
it.
John, were
Okay,
you an
did you, John?
integrator? Were you an installer integrator?
Not so much. In the really early days before custom install was custom install,
Mhm.
or when it was really custom,
Mhm.
we had to make a lot of our own products. I was on that side of the business, so I understand the challenges, and you got to take care of the customer and that sort of thing. I learned that at retail.
Nice. Now, Don is hardcore CI himself. You've been doing it for a long time, right?
30 years, over 30 years. I mean,
Yeah.
temporarily I'm not, but but that's what I do for a living.
Nice. Cool. Well, John, there are three things that I really want to weigh in about tonight, right? So first, I think maybe we can talk, well, maybe four things. Just a little bit about the product and why it exists, and why Mantle Mount is Mantle Mount as opposed to regular mount. I don't know, right? What's the special sauce that makes Mantle Mount a Mantle Mount? And then the three items, I'd like to talk about the Max series in particular.
Yeah.
Like to understand, kind of the wow of Mantle Mount, and what's really special about it. We'll cover what you are, but then that third piece is, what's really cool. And then talk a little bit about mounting above a fireplace and the problems that represents, as well as the solutions that you can then provide to remediate the issues that you might have. And there are a lot of different things that will come to mind on that one. So first off, what is a Mantle Mount? And I can pull up the website here so we can have a visual for people too. So let's.
Yeah, and I can talk during this.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so Mantle Mount is a company that solved the problem. Classic. Figured out there was a problem and invented a device to fix that problem. And that is, most houses, especially in the living room or the family room, they're oriented around a fireplace. So that's where the TV wants to go really bad. And that's where most people want it to go. The problem is looking up at the TV is looking out at the top of your window, or looking up at the top of your wall.
Right.
It's not comfortable, and it leads to neck strain. People watching this site have probably invested good money in a TV and invested in a better TV that has lots of features. And unless your TV is at a level watching height, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the quality of picture that you paid good money for. That,
Right,
and usually there's a sound bar or a center channel audio involved, and that usually gets the speaker down at eye or ear level in this case. So that's how Mantle Mount started in 2014, identified that there was a problem, understood there wasn't a solution for it, and started a Kickstarter campaign, went out to his garage, tooled one together. Then all his friends wanted one. Did a Kickstarter program, had to shut the computer off because he was selling so many.
Wow.
And it's been running at a fast pace ever since.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to point out there, and I think it's a key factor that people don't necessarily realize, but I think most people understand that when you have a television, you have kind of a different off-axis experience, right? The performance is different as you move left and right in front of the television, right? But that also happens as you move up and down with the TV as well.
Oh, so, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, folks are like, well, we'll put it up high and it'll be great. Well, you're going to have problems with that, just like you have problems when you're on eye level left and right. And this resolves that. And you guys have a bunch of different products. I mean, let's look at all these different things you got going on here. And maybe we could talk a little bit about what differentiates these, right? And I guess maybe the biggest differentiator would be the motorized piece.
Right. There's motorized mounts or more motor assisted mounts in some cases, and there's manual pull down mounts. So the products that started the company were manual pull down mounts. And that is simply reach up, uses advanced counterbalance technology. It lightens the load as you pull it down, holds the TV at wherever you leave it in the arc when it comes down to its lower position. And you can stop anywhere in between there.
Oh, it'll just pause wherever you leave it at?
Yeah, there's an adjusting bolt on them, and once you install it and mount the TV size of your choice, then you adjust the bolt to adapt the counterbalance technology to its weight. And then anywhere from its home position to its lowest mounting position, the TV will stay put.
Got it. Now, let's I think folks probably get the idea, and I think the video that you have on your website here, where is it at? Come on back. Really shows it in action, right? So you can really see how this thing.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and that's the classic mantle mount and arm pivots against the wall. You have to do some calculation so it misses the mantle if you have a mantle. And it lowers the TV, misses the mantle, and
is that a fake fire?
That was probably a fake fire. We don't recommend starting a fire and lowering your TV to warm it. Your TV doesn't need warming up.
You think it would be common sense, but you got to mention it.
Right. Now, there's one model, our flagship model, the 860, will raise itself up if it gets too hot. So
really?
It's self-preserving.
Wow.
Now, is there a model, or maybe there was a model, or maybe I'm just confusing something else? There was like one that had like a handle that changed colors if it got too hot or something. Was that you guys?
Yes, that is us. So the handles turn red at 110 degrees, flagging you to please raise it up and watch it in an up position until you've toned the heat down or took the log. I mean, leave the log burning in the fireplace, but don't melt your TV.
Right on. Now, I kind of want to move on to the next segment, and this is the new stuff, right? So you guys have released a full motion mount. Is that what you call it? The Max?
Yeah, the Max mount is a whole new concept. It's a whole new way to position a TV in 3D space being connected onto the wall.
I mean,
so
look at this. This looks like industrial strength equipment right here.
It's serious engineering. And what it does is the mount pulls out like a regular full motion mount that pulls out and then swivels left and right. And then some full motion mounts have a tilt feature as well, which you need because they don't do what the Max mount does do. And that is lower up to 28 inches or 29 inches, depending the model. It lowers vertically to put the TV at the proper watching height.
This thing is just, it looks super duper impressive.
It pulls out. At that. I don't know if you run the video of it.
Where is that?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's pictures. There you go. So the TV pulls out 22 inches, as much as 22 inches. It swivels 40 degrees left and right. That's what he's doing now. And then it drops down 29 inches, as much as 29 inches. Just because it doesn't you need to go all the way down. It too will stay where you leave it, properly adjusted.
Oh, look at that.
So what that does is allows the mount to clear the mantle. You can mount the mount within 2 inches of the top of the mantle now. Before, you had to mount the mount up higher and let the swing of the arc
bring
clear the
TV
mantle.
out. Right, yeah.
Right, and this, you just pull it out far enough, if that's as far as you want to go. You don't even have to pull it out because the 3 different axes can be used independently. You can simply take the mount and slide it down 28 inches.
And look at the clearance that you've got behind that television when you pull it out all the way. I mean, that is a lot of pull-out distance there.
Yeah, and this mount is new. It's been on the market for about 4 or 5 months now, and it's really grabbing a hold. We didn't know how people would understand the concept, and it takes a while to get a reputation built, some reviews,
Sure, yeah.
comments from dealers, and everybody's embraced this mount significantly. And there's 2 versions. There's a Max 1, it's a manual mount. That's the one that was shown in the video.
Right.
Max 2 has a motor assist feature where you pull it out if you want, swivel it if you want, and then where the handle is in the center of the mount is a butterfly switch that a paddle switch, you might call it, that you use to raise and lower the TV. And it stays where you leave it as well. That model goes up and down 28 inches.
And these both the models will handle up to 86-inch TVs?
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's weight that we go by. The manual mount will go 95 pounds, Max 1, and Max 2 will go an incredible 150 pounds.
Ooh, 150 pounds. So now I need to see how much does the
you don't want to put 100 on that, dude, probably.
QM 8K TV weigh.
Because you can doesn't mean you should.
Oh man. Maybe we should. Maybe we should, because I think those televisions are coming in less than 150. I think. I don't know.
Yes, they are. There's some 100-inchers out there, and variants, 102, 101, 103. And most of those these days can work on a 150-pound mount. Their weight's going to be in the 130-pound range.
So let's see, 98-inch TV. We are looking at 124 pounds without the stand.
Oh, it's close.
We are cooking with fire right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do it, Giles.
I'm just thinking, because
so you ever feel how flimsy a TV is? Seriously, this is speaking from experience, right? Mm-hmm. You go trying to arc on a 198-inch TV with connected in a space about that wide, you're probably, you know what I mean? If you're careful, you're all right. But I'm just saying that TV could crack.
Right. Only the premium mounts can handle in excess of starts at 125 for a couple of them, and then goes up to 150 on the Max 2. So it's the most robust mounts we make will work with the bigger TVs.
Interesting.
Which tend to be the premium TVs that your customers, your viewers probably own.
Right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the large form factor television, just for obvious reasons, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love that you have a product that can handle that kind of weight. So I would love to see, that actually implemented into practice somewhere. That would be some fun content to see that, a big old whopper of a TV coming up and down on that Max too.
Yeah, we have various videos. I'm happy to supply them. I think they're available on mantlemountpro.com,
Okay.
and just navigate to the Max 2 product page in the professional line
Well, let's
and see if
quickly.
it's there.
Yeah.
And if not, it'll be there tomorrow morning.
Let's see. Let's add the stage. All right, here we go. And we're going to go to, which one is it? FAC or no?
Max 2. So it's the right-hand one in that lineup of 4. There you go. No.
Oh, this guy. Yep.
There you go.
There's videos.
And there's Remy. Start that video.
Let's mute that down. Come on, Remy, show us. I wonder what size that is. That looks like maybe like a 75
That's
or
a
an 85.
75.
75. All right. So, and then the pull out and the swivel is manual, right? And then there's your button.
And there's the paddle switch. And you can see just how far, it's almost 3 feet. It's
That's impressive.
crazy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Don. I'd love to see it with a big.
And when you have a big, heavy TV, you'll appreciate that motor assist. It takes 1 ounce of lifting power to move the switch.
That's super cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. And talking about cool, that's going to kind of bring us to the next item. And we got about 8 minutes left.
Okay.
So maybe we've touched on these things though, right? Kind of the wow factor that Mantle Mount creates. And that's, I guess, really the motorized piece for me would be like the biggest wow, right? Because you have one model that you can use a remote control and push a button and it just does its thing, right?
Right. There's 3 motorized mounts, and they're all a little different. The Max 2 is unique in the fact that it's a motor assist product with that butterfly switch we just witnessed in the video. Then there are 2 traditional, I guess you would call them, motorized mount. One is the MM815, and it's, I think, the hottest product in our lineup at this point. Probably because it's motorized, it has remote control, they don't break, and it's $699.
Wow.
Right. That's awesome.
So it's the right price and the right product for the right price. And people are, the uptake on it is pretty remarkable. Now that model uses an RF remote, so it's not compatible with Control4, Savant, various command and control systems. But it is remote, has 2 presets for positioning, and it not only drops down, but it swivels left and right.
Oh, the swivel is motorized as well?
Right.
Okay. That's nice.
So that's where the motorized line starts, and then it jumps all the way to the premier product in our offering, and that's the MM860. It's compatible with command and control systems of your choice. Again, Control4, Savant, URC, on and on.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right. It'll take hex codes and react to hex codes. And it has a really cool feature, a current sensing switch, where you plug the TV into the mount, and then it senses when the TV is turned on by the current draw, and lowers down to one of the preset locations, not only drops down, but swivels into place. So if you have off-center seating, it can put you on center just by turning on the TV. So it's sort of like free automation. And then when you hit the power off button, it senses there's no longer a current draw and retracts to the home position.
Gotcha. No, that's really cool. And I've had a similar experience with kind of like the floor rising ALR ultra short throw projection screens. You can plug a
Yeah.
little dongle into the back of your projector, and you turn your projector on, and then that kicks off the opening of the projector. So that makes a lot of sense.
That's right. And there's a tweaking feature that allows installers and professionals in the installation industry to adapt it to various current draws in
Right.
case there's any variation.
Right on. Now we have just a few minutes left, and I
Sure.
want to talk a little bit about mounting above a fireplace, right? So there conventional wisdom, said it's it's where the TV wants to live, but from an experience point of view and for the health of the TV, it's the worst possible place that you can put it. But your product pretty much eliminates all of those caveats, right?
It does. It's, again, the living room is designed around a focal point, which is usually the fireplace. So you're kind of stuck there. It was when I made the leap to a flat panel TV, a plasma, of course. First thing I did was mount it above the fireplace. And so from firsthand experience, it lasted about 3 months up there until I got an appropriate mount, moved it to a side wall in the same room, and was fortunate enough to be able to make it work, mounted it a proper height. But the neck strain and the uncomfortable viewing when it's that high is no joke. It's real. So it's not like we're saying, don't play with spiders or something like that.
Right on. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Now, I guess the most important thing then for folks is if they're interested in this kind of mount for their home, where do they go? What do they do? So, I think you sell some direct on your website, and then others you need a dealer or a custom installer.
That's right. There's two ways to buy Mantle Mount, with some slight variation of each, but we sell direct at mantlemount.com, and we sell the more affordable mounts on that website. And you can order direct, and it'll ship direct to you. Or you can go to mantlemountpro.com, and those are the professional mounts that are sold through authorized dealer network around the US. And there's lots of dealers. In some cases, you could buy a mount from mantlemount.com and then call an installer from mantlemountpro.com. That happens every day, where
Right.
we refer installers and CI specialists to people to help them get their installation needs met.
I would highly recommend that people use a pro installer. Just getting the wires nice and neat, going, so many different ways they build fireplaces, going through stone, going through, unless you want to have wires hanging down, which if you're going through the effort of doing this, you probably don't. That would be my recommendation.
That's right. And these mounts are stout too. The lightest one is in the neighborhood of 43 pounds. The 860 that we were talking about, the current draw feature, how it motors up and down on its own, that mount's almost 100 pounds. You need two people and two people that know what they're doing to mount these mounts. You shouldn't be scared of it. They should just call a professional at mantlemountpro.com.
Yeah, and hiding the wires or getting the appropriate cables, because most of the time, if a fireplace above the mantle has been wired at all, it's usually just a coaxial, unless it's a modern home built recently. So you have to usually put your sources either behind it or someplace remote, and running wires up to it can be a challenge.
Yeah, and you're running network cables up there
Correct.
for the
Right.
TV box and the TV itself. So, and these mounts move a great distance, so you need some expertise in managing those wires so they don't get caught up in the mechanism.
Right on, makes
Just
sense.
a word to the wise.
But it is
Scourge
cool.
a little
I've
bit.
seen them more than several times when we've installed Mantle Mounts over the recent years. It's a great product, and it's a cool effect. It really is. It's a thing that people are appreciative of. Once you get one, you're like, where's this been all my life? Because even in Florida, why I don't know, but even in Florida, they want to put fireplaces in and put them dead center in the room, the focal point, and that's where everybody wants their TV.
One of our larger markets is Florida. It is hard to understand, but the TV looks right where it's at.
Well, we want that to keep going so John can feed his family. We don't want him to.
Everybody buy. If you got a fireplace, you got to have one.
But it's not just above a fireplace.
The story I'll leave you with. Pardon me?
No, it just doesn't need to be in a fireplace. It can be in an outdoor lanai. It can be in a kid's room where you have storage underneath it and you want to bring it down to play video games. I mean, you just don't think just above the fireplace. There's a bunch of uses you could have it. You could have it in the kitchen up high and pull a TV down to watch it. I mean,
Yeah, we sell a fair amount into hospitality, food service,
right,
and in schools is quite a brisk market for us these days, especially with the new Max mounts.
Oh, I bet.
And I'll leave you with a little bit of a story. I've walked installations with dealers that have installed Mantle mounts, and they put in interesting network systems, audio throughout the house, touch panels, lots of technology. And the first thing the homeowner does is show his friends is the TV coming down.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything motorized is cool. Yeah.
Right. And even if it's a manual pull down, it's the one part of the system. It's the end point. So it makes all the difference in the world.
Awesome. Well, John, thank you for that story. And thank you for spending time with us here tonight and showing us the new Max too. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And I cannot wait to see a 100-inch TV loaded on one of those going up and down. That's on my must-see list. That would be pretty exciting.
We'll keep you on the mailing list and make sure you get a first copy.
Woohoo! Awesome. All right, John. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure we'll see you guys again soon.
Don.
Giles, Don, it's a pleasure.
All right. Take care.
Pleasure, brother. Hey, Giles, I'm going to have to dip. I'm in quite a bit of pain right now. And I'm sorry, and I apologize. I thought I could make it through.
Well,
I don't want to pay the price.
I appreciate it.
Yes. Love all you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you, Don. All right. Now, without further ado, we're going to bring in our second segment. And it has something to do with, this thing right here. And to tell you what's in the box. We've got Matt from Storm Audio joining us. Matt, welcome. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm living my best life right now. I tell you what, I get to do surgery again on this box. I'm excited. And let's get it level set for everybody, right? So folks that might not know you, if you could let people know who you are, what you do, and why they should care.
All right, everybody. My name is Matt Trinklin. I'm with Storm Audio. I'm our regional sales and engineering support manager here for the North Americas and Canada. And we sell really, really incredible home audio processing units and sound control devices and room correction and all of the great things that make what us audio nerds love even better.
And, you guys really do bring in the awesome audio to a wonderful video experience, right? And that's what really makes all the difference for home theater, right? It's that melding of great video, immersive experience with that immersive audio, right? And you guys have taken it all to the next level. Am I right? There's something new. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we really try. Well, first and foremost, I got to say, I got an analogy that I use. If you've ever spent some time, around a CEDIA booth or heard us in conversation, you've heard me say it before. But when you build a high performance theater room or a high performance media room, whatever have you, what we're really providing to our customers, whether we're the manufacturer, the integrator, whatever have you, we're providing an experience first and foremost. And that's the most important part about this. And so what I like to say is when we're building this, we're really building a high performance experience vehicle. And it's like, for example, we're building a race car. And every single component that goes into that vehicle is just as equally as important as the other ones, whether it's the video endpoint, be it a TV or a surround sound or a projector, the actual processor that's the motor driving the system, the speakers and the subwoofers, whatever else have you, every single thing, including the fuel that you put into this car, whether it be streaming, Kaleidoscope player, Blu-ray, it's all equally as important, right? Like we wouldn't spend all this time and money to build a Formula One race car and go down to 7-Eleven and put unleaded fuel in it, right? So it's all equally important. And being all, along that line, our newest addition and launch that we're going to talk about mainly tonight is a new function of that motor, which is the ability to pull out and run even more channels, different types of decoding formats, in a better and faster way than we've been able to do it before. So what Giles has with him this evening in the box there is what we call the ADEC. And the ADEC stands for, if you haven't seen it around anywhere, purely advanced decoder. This is all based on a system on a chip platform that we've been developing for quite some time now. It's been a pretty heavy investment on our side. Oh yeah, open it up, baby. Let's see it. I personally absolutely love it. It's got a nice big heatsink with Storm Audio logo on it. It's as far as an electronics card goes, and this feels extremely nerdy to say, but it's quite an attractive card. It's not the largest thing in the world, but it doesn't need to be because it's packs a punch for what it is. So it's got a processing SoC on there that runs at 10 gigahertz, which for chip and electronics geeks like myself out there, that's actually a 10x upgrade from our last decoding chip. The one we were using previously was based on a Texas Instrument chip that ran at 1 gigahertz. So we got a lot more.
Now, with my super ancient model, though, I'm not even running the most advanced current state of the art, right? I'm like way back there, right?
So you're about to actually make 2 jumps in evolution from our first generation mainboard and decoder all the way past the second and up to the third. And the coolest part about this, for those of you who don't know, is that Giles has a Mark I. He mentioned at the start of the show, I think that you might be the first Mark I in the US to go through an ADEC upgrade.
So let's I'm going to show my product. So to see mine, you have to go to products and then go way down here to the bottom. But this is actually one of the stories I like most about Storm Audio, because this is the one that I have, right? Not this one, not the other, because you're on the Mark III now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so this is way back. I've got like the great granddaddy version. I have upgraded the HDMI board, right? So we did that not too long ago. I created some content about that, and it made a huge difference. Now this is I'll be the guinea pig, I guess, the first North American upgrade. I'm sure you've done it in France, but a little scary. It's gonna be fun. Love it.
Oh, man. It's you're in for a treat. I'll tell you that first and foremost. This is a really cool piece of hardware in a lot of ways. First and foremost, it takes what we can do as an overall surround sound processor to the next level. So before this moment in time, there she is. Before this moment in time, we were decoding 24 channels, and our limitation was Originally, it was 13.110. We did some modifications so that you could shift things around a little bit in case you didn't have, 10 pop channels. And this steps it up in a big way by another 8 channels on board our current processing platforms to be able to deliver 32 discrete channels coding capability. So what this means for end users today is an immediate upgrade to be able to run things in a more true to fidelity, natural way. And for those who are running higher level systems like DCI systems, where they're pulling in way more content into those other channels that we find natively in residential Atmos content and GTS and Oro 3D, it's even going to be more immersive. So there's 100 more different possibilities. And actually, I think the number that we published was 2,496 different combinations. So there is Giles' new board with the ADEC already mounted to it. So you and I will have some fun with that.
Yeah. So does this one mount on the bottom plate of the processor?
Yep. So we'll disconnect the cables from the old one. That entire thing will come out. And that one will go back in. 6 screws. We plug everything back in, turn it on, and we're off and running.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I'll follow up and make sure that I'm on the most current firmware rev, because let me tell you what, when I installed the HDMI board, I was on a firmware from, it had to be the second one ever released. It was really old. I had to jump through all the hoops.
It was quite old, but was there an improvement performance-wise on that?
Oh, absolutely. It's the HDMI. It was a game changer. And then this I think really is going to be the significant game changer, right? So let's put this in context for all of the customers, right? So when a current customer, right? So someone who buys one new and it has this, well, they just get it right, and that's all they've ever known, right? It'll be awesome, but they won't have kind of a reference of a frame of reference. For earlier customers, what is the expected experience change for them, right? So what is all this 10 super gigahertz megabit? What does it mean?
The biggest thing that it means is an increase in immersion factor. And that's going to be totally across the board for a lot of reasons. So this goes to the latest version of the Dolby Atmos residential codec. This goes to all of the latest versions, including MPEG-H, which is something that's new to us too that this supports. Could you
tell people what that is? Because most folks don't know what that is.
So MPEG-H is a slightly more open, not as content used primarily, especially in the US, version of immersive audio. It's an immersive audio metadata file is what it really is. And it's largely in port used by the Recording Engineering Society, music production, as well as in broadcast. And it's a cool format in the sense that it kind of differs in how we do spatial decoding from a lot of the other formats. And so it's actually just grouped together as a whole, and it gives you technically a 22 channel rendering capability, and then LFE on the side.
Gotcha.
So cool. It's a world of its own. We're starting to see it get more and more traction. I think one of the biggest reasons why we don't see it more and more often is because really there's not a lot of things that support it and decode it. So we're now only one of a couple platforms that actually have the ability to do that and support that. The biggest thing, though, let's talk about content we do use, right?
Sure.
And we see all the time. So, the biggest thing that's really cool about this move to Dolby, the latest version of Atmos, is that it focuses on some things that Dolby didn't focus on before. Primarily a lot of immersive content metadata that was limited if you didn't have higher level channel counts. So there's more specific content built in there for Dolby Virtualizer, for increased headphone rendering, soundbar, 3D gaming performance, and they have a really strong focus on VR, AR, and gaming in the latest versions. And so what you see, I mean, even from a base point as watching content off an Apple TV, for example, is you're going to have more actual things that are happening between different channels and what your discrete rendering points are on your system natively at home. It was something that, you know, we noticed first and foremost. My wife actually made a comment to me about it at one point, and she was like, does it feel like there's more? Because we had been, I forget what show we were watching, but we were watching a series when I actually did the upgrade originally at home, and we were still in, you know, the test phase, playing with things. And so it's cool, you know, you like it when your significant other picks up on things like that, because it's, you know, it's not her passion, it's not what she's into, but the fact that she still noticed there was a difference is a pretty cool thing in my perspective. So it brings you a lot of cool things like that. The other thing it brings you is it brings you more immersion for people who don't have higher channel count systems via Dolby Virtualizer and some of the other things that they have on there. So with the new one, something that you think that's really, we see that's really cool is when you're on the remote page, the moment you have an Atmos codec signal coming in, you get all these control options that weren't there before. So you can activate the virtualizer and turn it on. You've got the Dolby modes to switch back and forth between some of their preset algorithms that come back in. And so that's going to be what people see first and foremost. It's kind of cool to use. I was just playing it with a colleague of mine actually before we got on this call. And he was like, hey, I don't understand, you know, where this is. And I was like, that's because we're not feeding it a signal that has the ability to use that. So as soon as you feed it an actual Atmos codec, then those things are available. And so realistically, you know, what does that mean, right? So for example, if you're in a system where you're operating a sound bar or something of the sorts, it's going to give you, with virtualization enabled, the sensation that you have surround effects by the algorithms that Dolby's using. So it'll give you a sense of an actual channel before you, kind of similar to how you'd get from a binaural rendering, I guess.
Sure, sure.
And then you take it to the next level. So it's a step up above everything. So you know, let's say you've got a 5.1 system, the virtualization is going to give you the sensation that you have top elements, even though you have nothing there, even without an up-firing channel like you would have in some cases.
So we have a question, and I want to thank Don for supporting the channel with his question here. So if the native mix is set at 517191, is the Storm actually up mixing automatically to 32 discrete channels if you have 32 discrete channels? How does that work?
Automatically, no, unless you have the unit running with an upmixer active, which a lot of people and clients do. When I kind of train people about the ins and outs of the Storm audio ecosystem, I say, think about it as a piece of smart technology, kind of atypically of how we think of smart technology today, but thinking about it in a sense of, because it's meant to work at the highest degree of performance and fidelity, we don't ever want it to really automatically, other than, you know, some higher level things, we don't want it to automatically do something and have it be something accidental that you didn't want to happen. So that's totally on the customer engagement side. Whether you're on, you know, mobile app, tablet app, the website remote control, if you've got an automated system at home, if you've got the actual just Storm handheld IR remote, either way, that's going to be something that you trigger on there. And it's going to be based on what your system is and what the content you're feeding into it is. So let's say, for example, you do have a 32 channel theater at home and you have the Dolby surround up mixer on. You're going to, not at all times, but at the correct moments, make use of all 32 of those channels. But it's not going to be something natively that happens on its own. It's a current up mixer engagement.
Right on. So let's talk about my specific, because this is all about me, my specific environment. So right now I'm running 7 bed channels, 4 Atmos channels, and 5 subwoofer channels right now. So it seems to me that this is going to potentially create a pretty nice experience for me above and beyond what I've been able to experience in the past, because, you know, I'm not running 11 bed channels and 6 Atmos channels or 10 Atmos channels or what, right? So maybe I'm the sweet spot for this. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. And not, you know, to be honest, not a ton of people are. I don't think we've gotten to that point in the home theater game. I've seen, you know, kind of The standard higher level probably grow from 9 base channels to 11, base layer channels recently, but that's it for most rooms that we see. Now, some larger ones will have, good, multiple side surrounds for different rows.
Yep.
And how we set that up and configure that's going to vary client to client, and based on what the customer's goal is. So it's definitely a good place to be, because you're right at, the top end of that threshold still. And you'll see some more immersion out of it. So it's a fun thing. And especially for those of you who are running larger channel count systems, even better.
Yeah, and my room it's a single row room, so I don't really need tons of side channels to kind of fill in for that, because I have a small little place. But we do have a follow-up question from Don. How many of those channels can be assigned to subs? I don't know if maybe this is just a general question, but like all of them if you wanted to, right?
Yeah. If you really wanted to, you could run a 1.31 system.
I know some people that would not be upset with that, right? Just
no,
everything out of the center channel, 160 decibels a base.
So there's a lot of, I won't say a lot, there's a good percentage of folks in the production side of things, movie directors and things of the sort, that actually prefer to listen in that capacity. And when they have people over, they'll put it into multi-channel mode. And when it's just them, they will watch mono out of the center channel with subwoofers engaged. There's a good amount of people that do all that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
interesting.
Yeah. And it's an easy thing to do on a Storm deployment, because it's just a change of a preset, and you go from one mode to the other instantaneously without having to stop anything.
Nice. I've never actually engaged all of the channels that I have. So I think I believe the baseboard did 16, and then I have a 4-port expansion module on there. So I believe I've got 20 XLR outs on the back of the unit. And I think the most I've ever used was the 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think I've used 16 of them. So I need to go to 8 subwoofers and use all 20 channels. That
absolutely do.
Man. So using the Dirac, that's all baked into the unit there, it can handle tuning up 8 subwoofers, no problem, right?
Not a problem at all. We've done rooms with a good portion more than that. I don't know if we've done more than, I think the most that I've seen on a project was 12, possibly. Which is, 12 is a good amount of subwoofers.
Yeah, especially I can't even imagine having 8 subs in my little space. And just for giggles, that's not the right way to say it. Just because I want to go nuts and go crazy, I'm adding another 24-inch sub into the room. And this is like a 15 by 15 space, right? So it's not big, so there's not a lot of air to pressurize in there. So yeah, we'll have 2 new toys in the room.
That's appropriate, my friend. I've got my room at home is a 11 by 13, and it's running a 7-4-6 system with 4 16s, and my left and my rights each have dual 12s, and my center's got a 12. So
what's your LCR?
Bigger is the way to go. So I have, for my left and my right towers, I have an old school Wisdom Audio Adrenaline speaker.
That's good stuff.
It is. And it's one that I redid. It's a 74-inch continuous planar magnetic ribbon. So it's a single driver. I run that down pretty low. I think right now it's running to 250 hertz.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in my room is bi-amplified for the most part, other than my center channel. I do have actually a 12-inch, I believe it's a 12-inch Pro, a Shindo coaxial for my center channel, which fits beautifully beneath, and it's actually beneath my mantle at home. So we try to not turn the fireplace on, although my wife still does so here and there in the wintertime. and it's held up beautifully for that. And then I've got some prototype stuff that never made it
Ooh, that's cool.
around for my side surrounds and my top middles. And then I've got Shindo 6-inch wedges for my top fronts and top rears. So thank you to Jeffrey and Todd for that.
Yeah, those are great guys, by the way, and the brand is awesome too.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. What kind of display are you running in there?
I actually have an Epson LS 12,000.
Nice.
As my
Nice.
projector. So that, and I've got a Seymour screen. And I love to say this just because I know that somewhere in the world it makes Chris cringe. I actually have a 189-inch screen, but I'm in what I call the first house blues. So it's tucked away on a 105-inch frame that I custom built.
So the cloth is all wrapped around the back.
It even has the black mask on the back too, but it's all folded up. You can kind of see it barely sticking out from the bottom edge of the frame. So yeah.
Right on. I was going to say, how do you get a 189-inch screen in that room? But that's how you do it.
I didn't. I was resourceful in saying I have a 189-inch screen already, and I'm going to use it until I have space for a 189-inch frame.
Yeah. And one day it'll unfurl its wings and be huge.
Yes.
That's cool. All right. So now there are customers out there saying, I got to have this thing. I got to have it. So how does the normal home theater aficionado customer that is rocking an ISP 1, 2, or 3, right? How do they get their hands on one of these bad boys and get this into their system so that they too can experience the goodness?
So we have them in stock all over the world. They're in stock in France. They're in stock in Hong Kong. They're in stock in at our facility here out of Los Angeles. So if you have a dealer that you have worked with already to procure that unit, just go ahead and reach out to them, and that's all it takes. I'm sure that they'll send you an invoice at some point along the way. And if you don't, and if you are somebody who got a unit secondhand or from somebody else or online or whatever have you, we have a really great resource on our website, which is actually a distributor locator. So it has all of our reps in the area. We have a lot of dealers nationwide. We've got over 300 counts. So they just get in contact with whatever rep is servicing in your area, and they will get you in contact with whoever is local to you and the best fit for what you need.
Right on. Now, is this
ask the ADEC?
Is this a ship your unit back to have the ADEC installed, or is this the dealer will have a service crew come out and potentially install it?
This is a dealer serviceable item, so this does not have to 100% come back to the factory. And it can, if that's something that you need to work out, we can work with you for it. It's not a problem at all. But it does have to be serviced and installed by an actual Storm Audio authorized dealer or center in order for the warranty to be valid. And that's just purely a liability case.
Yeah. And, so for me, as I hack through this thing here at home, I have to, disclaim, this, what did they always say on television? Don't try this at home. It is nerve-wracking to be working on a piece of electronics that costs all in 20,000, 10, 15, 20, whatever it might be your unit, right? So it's definitely best to be left to people that know what they're doing. And luckily I've got an extensive background in electronic service and that kind of stuff. But you have to be really careful with these things. The last thing you want to do is cause some static damage to your unit, because the only way to fix that is come back out of pocket with a ton of cash, right?
Oh yeah.
So everyone be safe. All right. So Matt, I want to be very cognizant of your time. I know you're out on the road right now. So thank you so much for joining us tonight while you're on the road. I really appreciate it. I know your time is precious, and I thank you for spending it here with us tonight. And everybody out in the audience, again, the same for you. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And if I'm trying to see if there were any final questions. I don't think so, other than, how was the weather in the UK today? So
that's relevant.
Upgrade cost. I think that would be talk to your dealer, right?
Yeah, depending on what you have, it might have a little bit of a variance if you're going from an older platform and it's a full thing. The 8 by itself is retail $2,200. But yeah, like I said, might be a little bit slightly different if you're going from a Mark 1 up, but just the platform by itself is that.
Right on. And then I guess the only question that I have to ask about my last question is, so for my unit that, is the Mark 1 that has upgraded HDMI board, and now it'll have the ADEC in there, what's left to upgrade on that unit? Is there any other things that I should do? And it's got an expansion for the 4 ports. I could do like a audio over IP module in there, maybe. I don't know if it'll support that.
You could go digital. You can go digital and go audio over IP, or you could go AES EBU direct digital out. You could, in plain simple, if you wanted to stay in the analog realm, you could just go up to 32 channels.
Oh, so I do have the capability to make that expansion on my unit to go to 32. Okay. All right. I don't know what I would use another 12 channels for. I guess I could do like discrete speakers.
It's not in a master, is it? Is it one of the 3U or the 4RUs?
I'd have to look at it. I don't know. I think it's 4 RUs. I mean, I think it's 4 rack units. It's pretty tall. I mean, 3 would be like right. I don't know.
If it's 4, you can go up. We did have something briefly called a master version, which was a 3 RU piece that was a little bit smaller chassis. So you could run into a limitation if it was a master, but as long as it's the standard, then yeah, you go up to 32.
I think it's the standard. All right. So I actually would love at some point down the line, I don't have the amplification for it right now, but to go, audio over IP and get rid of all the XLR cables, because that is the thing I hate the most about my rack. It's just too many cables back there. What I would really love is just everything over IP, and then getting rid of HDMI and shooting that over like 10 or 100 gig fiber, right? That would be my dream. But
there is that. I don't know if it's gone anywhere yet, but I know there was a new video transport protocol that was just announced, I believe.
Really? Oh, I haven't heard.
I think so. I don't know if it's intended or if we'll see it actually go anywhere. But I did see somewhere online, because I didn't just see things like that, I guess, for the accounts that I follow, apparently, which tells you what I do with my spare time is just look up audio and video stuff, I guess. But I saw something along those lines, so we'll see.
Right on. Yeah, for me, that would be one of the big game changers, is just to have everything run over fiber, and you just have a single fiber that comes out of your unit, goes up to a fiber switch, and then, that would run to your projector or to your television or whatever, and then to your amplification, and good to go. That'd be a dream.
One of these days, my friend, hopefully we'll get there.
Right on. Okay. Matt, again, thank you so much. Have a good night, and I hope to see you maybe at, I guess, CEDIA would be the next opportunity for me.
Probably. Yeah. Are you headed over to Munich?
I am not. My wife is going to be up in DC this weekend, so I'm here at home with the kids. So I got the short end of the stick on this one, but I will be at BAV next month, the Bangkok Audio Visual Show. So I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Safe travels.
Yep, and whatever your future holds, safe travels for that too. And we'll see all you guys
bouncing around back to the West Coast next. So
cool, man. All right, everybody out there, thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.